It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out of my mind. It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. I'm putting you out, trash day. I'm putting you out of my mind. Now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up the house. Taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage.
And welcome back to another Can Crushers Wrestling Spotlight. I am your host, Mark the Mark Martinez, and I have another mega superstar on the show today. That's right. As you can see by the thumbnail and all the posts and everything, I know you guys see the picture before, you come on. It's not like a big surprise saying, oh man, I wonder who Mark's going to have on the show. It doesn't matter. You see the post, you see the picture, and you see that I have the daughter of 1,000 Maniacs, Shawna Reed, on the show. Man, we have a lot to talk about. I don't want to ruin it because Shawna and I have been talking for about a month now, and there was something planned, but there was a little hiccup on my end, so we just have to sit down and talk about it because they still did it, but I want you guys to hear the outcome and some of this great stuff she's doing. I know she's going to be in Austin, Texas soon. She's always at Future Great Wrestling in Ohio. I'm just interested. I really am. Of course, she's been on AEW, WWE, OVW, all over the world, and we'll get into that. And we'll get into my favorite question, who has better catering as well. But you know what we have to do first. We have to hear from Al Snow to tell you about Collar and Elbow. Hats, hoodies, tees, all that great stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen the Al Snow Frankenstein head shirt that's out there. It's awesome. Go buy it. And when you buy stuff from Collar and Elbow, use our promo code CANCRUSHERS. All one word, capital C in can, capital C in Crushers, and you will save 10%. Don't forget to buy some merch from us. It's linked all over our pages. Here comes Al Snow, and then when I come back, we'll have the daughter of 1,000 Maniacs, 1,000 of them, guys, Shawna Reed, on the line.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
And welcome back to Can Crushers Wrestling Spotlight. Guys, I told you in the intro how excited I am to have Shawna Reed come on to the show. Shawna, welcome to the show, and there's so much more. I know you're going to be like, holy shit, that's the most generic entrance I've ever had coming on a podcast, but I am diving into real life right now. Congratulations, you just got married, and that's got to be awesome within itself.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and yep, thanks for that. It's crazy.
You've been on a whirlwind like the last 3 weeks of everything you're doing, and then you throw a wedding in the midst of it. How the hell did you have time to train then in the midst of all this?
It was just crazy. I'm really thankful to my parents who really they pretty much planned this wedding, so they helped. Yeah, they helped and they stepped up a lot, because with me living out of state for a few months throughout the year, and then this wedding and training and traveling, they're the real VIPs, the MVPs of that. So Cody
didn't step up and help, or was he just like, yep, let's go?
No, he did good while I was, out doing stuff, but he has his own training and stuff like that and shows, so he was pretty busy too.
Lies. He just is like, here you go, new mother-in-law, have at it.
Exactly. Yep.
He's a smart man. He's a very smart man for that time.
Yeah.
They know what you like, so he doesn't want to piss you off, essentially.
Exactly. He learned it real early.
Right. So there's two more things before we get to wrestling I want to talk about. About a month ago, Cody put up this amazing opportunity to travel with, it was just him at first. And I'm like, oh man, that'd be awesome. You know, we can get some stories for the pod. Of course, I'm doing marketing the whole time. I'm like, do some stories for the podcast, be that little guy that's passing out cards and stickers and use myself for promotion. But I also get to enjoy wrestling. And then some shit hit home and I'm like, oh man, I'm going to feel like a giant douchebag telling Cody that I can't go. And then he announces that you were going with him. I'm like, now I really feel like an idiot. But talk about this adventure that you gave one lucky fan, and I don't know her name. I did forget her name, but it sounded awesome. I hope he does it again because I'll giddy up. I'm coming next time.
Yeah, no, it was freaking awesome, and he is planning on doing it again. We just gotta wait till we have 3 shows in a row again, because that's why he did it. You know, he did the camps and the legit had a show Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that were all right around each other. So that's why that weekend worked out so perfectly. And but it was really cool. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous about the whole idea when he brought it up to me before. He brought it up to me a few times, and being a female wrestler in the business, you just have to be, you know, more on your toes with these kind of things. And like I was, like I said, a little iffy, but then like met her on Friday, and it was actually pretty awesome, you know, like to hear her stories and her view and side of things, and actually get to travel with a fan who is, you know, you're so used to going to shows pretty consistently as a wrestler and traveling that you sometimes forget the excitement of like going to like wrestling shows. So seeing like a fan side and like them like being excited to, you know, get to go backstage and see how things work and production and meet wrestlers, and then get to enjoy the show, and then get in the car and go to the next town was pretty cool. They got to live like a wrestler for like a weekend, and it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was probably a mark out moment for her. So congratulations to her. Like I said, I was super pumped. And hopefully, next time Cody puts it up, and hopefully you're not flying all over the world. You get to be involved as well.
Yeah.
I know wrestling is huge in your life. And when we connected a while ago prior to your wedding and everything, I'm like, okay, we're going to get this set up. That's when I start stalking you. And I don't mean it mean, but I stalk you. I find you on everything. You love wrestling, but there's something that you love more. Do you know where I'm going?
Let's see.
Don't say the paranormal either. I'll throw that out the window.
Okay, I was gonna say that. All I can think of is my animals.
Nope. It's singing with Joe Jonas on TikTok.
Yes.
I told you I'm an asshole as well. Yes.
I freaking love it. Yeah, I freaking love it. Yeah. No, heck, when you have the opportunity on TikTok to duet with freaking Joe Jonas, my childhood crush, you're gonna freaking do it.
Right.
So don't lie. You would do it too, so it's fine.
Probably not with Joe Jonas, but yeah.
Oh yeah, you would. Don't lie.
Well, maybe you're right. You're right. I would sing with anybody. Yeah.
I got your number.
Oh no, that's right. You officially do now. Great. You're gonna be calling me out.
Yep, sure will.
All right. I'm glad I got to throw you under the bus for that. And guys, if you want to watch a TikTok that is, you're all over the place, by the way, on TikTok. One day you're crying about, you know, a cloud being a different color to singing with Joe Jonas. You are one of my favorite TikTokers to watch.
About tacos. It's like all great.
Yeah. It's like I'm going to steal this from Chelsea Green. You're a hot mess on TikTok. You really are.
Oh, yes. I am. I 100% take that. If she didn't have the gimmick, I would be, you know, like, hey, I own this.
Right. And it's real life. It's not just pretend.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the rewind and find out about you. Who was the first one ever to say, "Hey, little Shawna, let's watch wrestling"? You know, you're just a little. Was it mom, dad, Uncle Joe? Who had discovered wrestling with you?
It was actually a video game.
Yes.
Yeah. So like when I was younger, me and my little brother would fight over who would play the PS2. And my mom would have to like designate times that we were allowed to play the game, like the PS2. And if we wanted to play during the other's time, we had to play what that person wanted to play. And my brother would always want to play WWE. And I never
SmackDown
wanted
versus
to
Raw. Clearly, that's
yeah,
really
2007. I never wanted to get off the game, so I was like, you know what, screw this, I'll play. And that's kind of how I got like introduced into the world of professional wrestling, because he would quiz me on, you know, like the wrestlers that would come across the screen in between matches and stuff like that. And that's how I kind of got brought into this crazy world.
Wow. So who was your go-to people to be on SmackDown versus Raw?
Honestly, it was Chris Benoit, Kane, and The Undertaker.
Two powerhouses, and then probably one of the best technical wrestlers ever in the world. Yeah.
Yep.
So not even knowing your shit, you knew your shit right off the bat. Or was brother helping you?
No, well, the reason I picked Chris was because he was the first one that I even learned his name. Like, you know, Justin, my brother, would always quiz me, and Chris Benoit was the first person I ever learned who he was. And so I always just picked him. And the other two, I was like, oh, these guys are really big, and like their characters are like monsters and like demonic. Oh, I'm gonna pick them. They obviously like kill people. So no, this was all me.
So we already know where everything comes from then. All right, Shawna, thanks for the interview. Now,
right?
So when did you watch like your first wrestling match then? If video games was your first introduction?
I want to say, so probably about when I was 8 years old. After like, you know, playing the video games for a few weeks, I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually a real thing. And I would tune in I guess it was Monday, and I don't even remember what day it was. SmackDown
Back then was Tuesday, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was Tuesday. Yeah. I'd like tune in for like the first hour because, you know, bedtime as a child. And my parents were very against wrestling. But like throughout the years, they kind of got a little bit more like lenient with me watching it. Like they would buy me shirts, they would buy me like the DVDs that came out, but they would never allow me to go and actually watch it live. So so probably just a few weeks after I started playing the video games, I realized that this was a real thing and started kind of being able to keep up with it.
So then, you know, through high school, when do you make the move that you're going to tell your mom and dad that don't like wrestling that you're going to be a wrestler?
Well, I had told them a few times throughout growing up, you know, like, hey, I want to do this. And they would say, you know, not in my house. Or like they would be, oh, this is just a phase kind of thing. And it was, at that time, it was a phase. But, you know, when I moved out of my house, and the first night in my apartment, I was flipping through channels, and I was like, just randomly in my head, I just had this thought, I wonder what's going on WWE. And I just flipped through and started watching it again and kind of, you know, got rehooked again and was like, I knew I wanted to do this when I was little. So why not try now that I'm actually out of my parents' house and can do that. So I, you know, 2015, I made the jump.
And boom, feet first. It's weird that no matter what, if you take time off or whatever, you always come back to as a fan, because I'm not a super talent like you or your husband, but you can take time off, but you always kind of like browse past. Okay, what's Raw doing tonight? Okay, I can't watch 3 hours because it's rough. So you just browse past it. You get caught up and you're like, oh, it's still in my system. I still love this sport. And it's like that with you, right?
Yeah, it was still there, you know, like it was actually kind of funny because when I was flipping through the channels that same night, I like had a dream about it, like with I didn't even know who the guys were. Now I know who they are, but like I didn't even know who the guys were, but like they showed up in my dream that night, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch SmackDown on Friday, and then like it just kind of stayed there. So like that, you realize that love never really went away, and it's, as an adult, it still makes you feel like a child. So I was real happy I got back into it.
You guys, and I mean you guys as talent, and sorry, you girls or women or however you want me to say it, I told you I'm not PC.
Oh, I don't care.
You guys are actually, I don't know if you like the word because I've talked to a couple guys, you guys are actually the biggest marks for the sport.
Oh God, yeah.
We are the morons outside the barrier, but you guys are the bigger ones than we are because you've went through with it. At 44 and 245 pounds, an aging garbage man, I'm not getting in the ring with you, Spike Dudley, or anybody because I will die right now.
No, yeah, we are definitely the super fans, like, you know, the ones that actually go through the pain, go through the injuries, and go through the, you know, like losing time with family and events and stuff. Like, you got to be really like mentally and physically committed to this to be able to do it.
What do you think is bigger? Do you think it's the mental part or the physical part?
Honestly, I think at the beginning it's the physical part, but as you progress in the business, it becomes mental.
Because the opportunities of, you know, traveling more, you know, I'm not knocking anybody again, but when you first start, you're kind of just in your, you know, your city. So yeah, you can make the weekend shows or everything, but now you're in the UK, you're going to Austin, you're going to Orlando, so you're missing a lot of life, right?
Yeah. I've missed, you know, like I've missed funerals, I've missed birthday parties, I have missed family reunions, just family parties. I missed my friend's birth of our baby girl. I've missed a lot, and even traveling. My grandmother passed away last October, and with me traveling every weekend, I used to go up there every single Saturday. Every Saturday night, I would go up to my grandmother's house. And for the past like 6 years that I've been wrestling, I haven't done that. And you know, she just died a year ago, and I regret every single day, like, you know, not going there the past 6 years and spending more time with her, because she was like my world. She was legit my everything. And yeah, she wanted me to be wrestling and keep going. Well, she didn't want me wrestling. It's my grandmother, but she wanted me to do what I loved and to keep going and, you know, doing all that stuff. And I know she was super proud of me in the end, but it was still like, you know, she's gone now and I can never get that back. So there is those tough ones.
You answered it. I was going to say, is there any times that you regret? So I don't want to, you know, keep beating on that. But did Grandma ever get to make a show?
No, she never did.
That stinks.
Yeah, she was in her 90s, and she was still, you know, she could get around and do everything herself. And she had a little bit of memory issues, but what ultimately ended her was she fell and broke her hip. And when you're 96 years old, it's kind of hard to recover, especially during COVID times and going into early dementia. So
that was my grandmother 5 years ago, honey. Yeah, legit, same thing, minus the COVID. Yeah. And I just called you honey like we went drinking the other night.
It's okay, dear. We're good.
Okay. That just threw me through. Okay, so you decide to go to training. Yeah. Get back on task, Mark. Get back on task. You decide to go to training. How long did you deep dive into finding out if you want to go to, you know, Can Crusher University or, you know, Cody's or Seth Rollins? How long did you spend making that decision where you're going?
Honestly, not long at all, because so my ex-fiance, he had told me that his cousin was a trainer, and long story short, that cousin was not. And you know,
That's one of those trainers. Yeah,
it was not. He ended up like stealing everything from me, like my identity and everything. But the one thing he did say that kind of stuck with me, because I didn't know the first thing to do, where to go, or anything with wrestling, how to get into the business. I knew nothing. But one day he said we should go down to Cody Hawk's school and just like, you know, view and see what's going on there. And I didn't know who Cody was, but I was a huge Dean Ambrose fan, like humongous.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, he trained him. I'm like, oh, that's freaking awesome. So we never, with that quote unquote trainer, never made it down there because all that stuff happened with him stealing my identity and everything. But as soon as I got all those credit cards and everything taken care of and all that fun stuff, I messaged Cody and I asked if he trained girls, and he said yeah. And I pretty much started right after that.
that quick. That's the best thing that came out of that relationship was you remembering Cody's name. It was actually twofold. It really worked out.
Cody's name, Cody's name, and my first pair of wrestling boots he gave me like these wrestling boots like he had. I was like, that works. So I was like, those are the only two things I can quote my fake first trainer.
Nice. This isn't even written on the list, but I knew we'd get to it anyway. So do you like Jon Moxley better or Dean Ambrose?
Well, as like I kind of have gotten to know John a little bit as a person. Luckily, now if you told me like 6-7 years ago when I was like head over heels in love with the man, that I would be like, getting to hang out with him a few times, like I think you were crazy. But Moxley is more who John really is who I've noticed.
Yeah.
The few times hanging out with him. Now, don't get me wrong, as a fan, as a teenage girl, like I was like, oh my gosh, Dean Ambrose, lunatic, oh my god. But knowing John and knowing the kind of person he is and knowing what he likes and who he is as a person, it's Jon Moxley all the way.
Yeah.
So, and then, watching his older stuff as Jon Moxley, even when he was younger, you can tell he's so much more comfortable in his skin. He's so much more like happier, and he's such a creative person. And just letting him be free and be himself pretty much is actually really cool to watch.
Yeah, I think you can see that. You're right. Well, old school stuff too, and I'm going to throw this out. Punk has said it too. It's one of my favorite things that CM Punk said. He's like, that time that I was up there, I wasn't wrestling. I was doing sports entertainment. They get themselves back, and we'll get to your time in AEW and WWE and across the UK and all that. But it just feels like they've had this fresh vision on life now.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so you go to training, and you're with Cody and all that in training. After about a week, do you go like, God damn, this is rougher than I thought it was going to be? Or do you like, nope, this is awesome. I love getting thrown around.
No, it was the most intense pain ever in my life. I would think at work excuses to why I can be like, hey, I won't make it tonight. Like, because my body just hurt so bad. But I was like convinced that I was going to, do this. I was going to finish this. Because Cody at that time took a picture of the class at the very beginning and then took a picture of the class at the end to see, who's there, who like started and who ended. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to be in that last picture. But unfortunately I got hurt like 4 weeks in. And I had to take months off, but I was still there every single day. I drove the hour to training every day with a notebook and took notes while he was training. And then as soon as I was healed and cleared by my doctor to get back in the ring, I hopped back in his second class, and immediately started again.
Nice. Quick story. I went down to OVW real quick a couple years ago. Good friends with Chad Miller and Al Snow. I know you know them because you've been at OVW and everything. I got to sit in Chad. Chad doesn't do anything but eat, if you know Chad Miller. I got to sit in one of Al's training sessions, and I got more when he said, all right, 5-minute water break. So he gave them a 5-minute water break, but Al, he doesn't shut up. This is where you learn more from Al, in a sense. And I would think because Jackson Breeze was on the show last week, and he kind of says that him and Cody are like two peas in a pod. They do the same exact thing. I think that's awesome. I love the more social interaction because, yes, you can do a forward roll, you can do this, you can do all your bumps and get them down, but psychology is 98.75666% of wrestling too, right?
No, exactly. Yeah. That's why I'm like really happy that I've been where I've been trained, because it was like 40%, the bumps and the moves, but it was more like 60% the psychology and making it freaking make sense and making it entertaining. If it doesn't make sense, it's not going to be entertaining, and you're going to get booed out of the freaking arena.
Right.
So I was super happy with that.
Yeah, Cody does have still, because I've dove into some of the stuff with him, and we'll have him on the show that we don't have to celebrate your wedding, because you should get the first to do since but
Exactly.
he is old school, right? He teaches you every little thing about professional wrestling instead of, all right, here's the moves, go figure out how the hell to talk yourself. Where Cody's like, this is what you need to do to get over.
Exactly. Yeah, he's so old school. He teaches the way he teaches, and he teaches to call it all in the ring too, call it on the fly. So like, I'm really like blessed to have learned that, because that's like a lost art nowadays.
It really is. It really is. And when I was talking to Jackson, I was throwing Seth Rollins under the bus the whole time because I don't know why he was on my mind, but he's the one that probably is one of the better speakers. And then you have to get bullet points, and you can see when it's a true interview with like what Cody's teaching, or completely read the script. So that is a big thing for a wrestling fan of me. I want your passion, your voice into a script, not the robotic that is being pumped out by, and I'm saying this not you to get anybody in trouble, that the WWE is pumping out right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Because AEW lets it go that, and let's talk about AEW, because I always ask one thing before we get into some of your things about AEW. I'm a big foodie. How was the spread at AEW?
It was pretty good. It was wonderful. So I approve.
Yeah, because you were in Jacksonville twice, and then it's 3 huge ass names. You had your first match at AEW against hometown girl Britt Baker, who lives literally 10 minutes away from here. Not her shoot, Pittsburgh. She's from Punxsutawney. Then you had Thunder Rosa, and then you had Jade. Holy hell! Yeah. Welcome to AEW roster.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So what did you get out of, because all of them there's 3 different styles of matches right there. How did you and pull the fourth wall down a little bit? How did you kind of put things together that you're going to go with Britt, that's kind of like an all-around, Thunder's lucha that's just going to beat your ass, and then Jade's got the power? How did you plan those matches?
Well, for like, they usually plan the matches, but like
your defense. Then I'll put it that way. Your defense.
Well, Jade has only been in the business for about 6 months, and she's only been trained by Dustin Rhodes, and so I was just trained by Dustin Rhodes.
I was gonna bring that up. You've also been trained by Dustin.
Yeah, so that's why we were put together, and then so that was pretty cool, and with Rosa, I've been such a Thunder Rosa fan for a while now, and the fact that I got to wrestle her on AEW was a huge deal to me, and I was so nervous, and I wanted to impress her so much. And even before the show, she like had someone come get me, and we rolled around on the frickin', not in the ring, on the floor, like doing like arm drags and stuff on the mat, on the floor.
That's awesome.
Before, because she wanted to see what I could do. And so that was fun. And, like I said, that was a freaking dream match for me. And to have it be against her at AEW was cool. And with Jade was in Cincinnati. So I got to do it in front of my hometown. And I got to be out there in front of a crowd in front of my hometown, because the other 2 were still during COVID times, so there was no crowd. Right. But my mom and dad, like I told you, they never gone to like a big wrestling event ever. I mean, they now go to my wrestling events, but they've never been to like a bigger, especially my mom. My mom's just like, no, not against for that. But when I was on AEW, John Mox actually got them all tickets. Got my mom, my dad, my brother, and Cody tickets to come to the show.
Awesome.
And they were freaking second row, and it was freaking amazing, because I'm out there and there was nobody in front of them. So when I looked over, I could see my mom, my dad, my husband, my brother, all looking like, all standing up cheering. I could see my mom crying, like exactly. So for that, even though it was a squash match, but for that moment, like, my mom like looked up at the stage and seeing her little girl, like, this isn't nothing. I'm not doing this for nothing, and the way that the crowd cheered when they said my name, because I was actually shocked, but they went crazy. And Tony Khan even put that over when I went in the back, how much the crowd popped. But like, I'm like, if I had to quit this business today, I could quit with a smile on my face, because my mom finally, and my dad, and my brother all saw me on a bigger stage, and they knew like, this isn't just some hobby, kind of thing. So that was worth it.
That's awesome. I just got chills for you saying that. One, I hope you don't quit. Please don't. Mom, if you're listening to this, you got to keep supporting her. But yeah, and that was going to be my next question. Is Mom gone to anything locally now? But she went to AEW to see you. That is, so she's a supporter now? Is she going to help you
my mom is like my biggest fan now. She travels with me. She goes to every single show here at FGW on every Friday. Like I said, she's traveled to Chicago to go watch me. She's done all this, and she puts me over on Facebook about like my wrestling and everything. She is my biggest fan now. She has like all my shirts. She's bought shirts that say like Wrestling Mom. She's got shirts that say like most daughters want to be a princess, mine's a wrestler. Like, like she is my biggest supporter now, and it's awesome.
Now you'd have to get Mom into making your gear. Really now, like, all right, now she's allowed.
My mom can't sew or do anything. No, it's so bad.
All right, never mind.
Yeah, it would be so bad. Sorry, Mom.
Wow. How about Dad? Does he have a wrestling dad shirt? No, not sewing. I can't. I'm going to defend Dad. I don't even know what a needle is. My wife's going to hit me in the back of the head shortly, but I don't even know what the hell a needle is. So I'm defending Dad.
Yeah, no, my dad cannot sew to save his life. None of our family can sew, so we're all pretty much screwed in that little general aspect of things.
Well, if you have an issue during a wrestling match, you're fucked. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you did 3 spots there. AEW, really awesome. The whole backstage, and it's pretty awesome. Like, everybody's like, "Hey, Shawna," right? Everybody talks. It's a friendship there.
It is definitely more like that than other places I've been. And like some of the people I know, because I've wrestled them on the indies prior to this, so that's really cool too. But it's definitely more tight knit than other larger promotions.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that other larger promotion, WWE. You've been there about 15 times, if I counted right. Am I right? I think,
yeah, I've been. Yeah.
Maybe whatever. How did you get on their radar? Because essentially, I know you got on AEW's radar because you did some seminars and some training with Dustin and everything. And we talked about Cody as your trainer, and we have one more trainer to talk about, which is really huge, I know. But how did you get on WWE's radar and NXT essentially too?
Yeah. I wrestled for POWW up in Chicago, Illinois, and like 3 months into my career. And the promoter there really liked me, and so he sent my information over to WWE, and like within like a month later, I got the email that I was booked.
That's awesome. 3 months in, and you're getting WWE stuff. That says that you have it, and kudos to that promoter too. So
yeah, no, he was amazing, and I'll do anything for him.
And then you head over to the UK for a while.
Mm-hmm.
How is it different? Because I haven't been to the UK. Wrestling in the UK compared to wrestling in, let's say, even Austin, Texas, which you're going this weekend. Okay.
Well, the UK. Well, so first of all, they call like their babies and their heels. The heel is an Achilles, and a baby, I think, is like a blue eye.
Okay.
So those are automatically 2 different things. Because I've been heel every time I've gone over there, and they're like, "You're an Achilles," and I'm like, "I'm a freaking what?"
Yeah, like, I have a couple of those, but I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Thank you. I have them. But like their fans are a little different. So like the first time I went over there, I was in a triple threat match. It was me, a girl from Canada, and then one of their hometown girls. And like we went 8 to 10, and the crowd was really quiet the whole time, except for like we do a big move and they'd clap, and then it would be over, and then they just go back to watching. And me and the girl from Canada, we were both heels, And we're like, okay, we need to take this home now because this crowd just hates this. So we finished the match, and we go in the back prepared to be yelled at by this promoter, like, oh my God, you guys suck. And they're like, he's like, no, you guys did great. The crowd loved it. And me and her looked at each other like, what? The crowd loved it. So I guess like that's how they were in that area. But like I went back 2 more times, and one other time it was like that. And then when I did the International Grand Prix, like I was like the biggest heel there, and the crowd was so loud. So I think they're more of like almost like a Japanese crowd a little bit, but then they have their moments.
Depending on where you're at, yeah.
Exactly. And then London's just, I've gone in December and I've gone in June and July. It's cold 24/7 and rainy.
Yeah.
So
it's like being in Ohio, right? Or Pennsylvania.
Exactly. It wasn't much of a difference. Just kidding.
Right.
But it was awesome.
Let's talk about your other trainer. And there's actually, and I'm bummed that you're not going to be there this weekend at Future Great Wrestling, but Super Zeta, the Memorial Cup's coming up and the whole tournament and everything. How did you meet Super Zeta? Because a lot of people don't know who he is. I had to do some homework a little bit because I heard the name, but how did you come across him and get some training techniques from him?
He actually would show up because he lived half a year here, last half a year in Mexico. And so he would show up the half year that he was here, and he would show up to Cody's school. So Cody made him like his assistant trainer. But he wouldn't wrestle with everybody. He'd give everybody an opportunity at first to wrestle him, and if he didn't like you, he wouldn't step in the ring with you. If he saw potential in you, he would try with you for a little bit, and then if you still just kept messing up, he would
toss you to the wayside. No.
No, he would still wrestle with you and try to help you and make you better, but he wouldn't put his effort into you. But I was the only girl for a long ass time. And since day one, I was terrified to wrestle this man. Like his cardio, everything, like this 20 million moves he called, lucha spots he would call and expect you to remember it. And if you messed up, he like chopped you in the back. Like it was, yeah. I was terrified to wrestle him. But every time he came, he like forced me to get in the ring with him. And then Cody and him, I guess, were talking, and Cody would always put me with Zeta. And I'd be like, what the hell? Like, what did I do? What did I do wrong?
Just for missing all those trainings.
Exactly. I was there. I was taking notes. But like, I was like, oh my God, I did something wrong. But no, he was putting me in there because Zeta, I guess, saw something in me. And Zeta put me through the freaking like grind, dude. Like I'm so thankful now. But during that, when it was happening, I was like, oh my God, this man's trying to kill me.
Sorry, I'm laughing at you because I can actually see your face saying this right now. Your TikTok face, of course.
Exactly. No, he forced me. I'm a 5'10", like tall girl. I'm supposed to stay on the ground. No, this man made me do flips, made me do everything, and he would like if I said no, I'm too scared to do that, he would freaking like kill me. But like me and him formed this bond and this friendship, and he became more than a trainer to me. He became my best friend, and he was honestly like if my heart was split into 3, it would be Zeta, Cody, and then my grandmother, and when Zeta got sick, he only told me and Cody that he was sick, and he made us promise not to tell anybody that he was sick. So we didn't, but me and him got even closer during that time because I got sick. And so me and him were kind of each other's rocks while he was here in the U.S. He had his family back home. But I got better, and unfortunately he got worse. But he was still wrestling, doing everything while he was going through chemo, while he was essentially dying, and his cancer was spreading throughout his body. He was still wrestling and never stopped. And when he was here his last 5 matches, he got to pick his opponents, and I was one of them. And he told me that I was the best match he's ever had in the United States in all the years that he's ever been in the U.S. And he pretty much said goodbye to me. Like, we both knew that was the last time we were going to see each other ever. And during his last day there, and I was crying, he was crying. He's like, "No, don't you cry," like that kind of thing. But and then when he passed, it was horrible. And then we do this memorial show every year for him. I was the first ever Super Zeta Memorial Champion. And then Logan Blackheart was the second year, and I flew in because I was in Texas at that time, and presented Logan with the title. And no one knew I was there, so that was pretty cool. And then this year, unfortunately, I will not be able to be there due to this tournament I have to be in. And yeah, but he's freaking amazing. And if anybody likes Lucha, or even if you don't like Lucha, look up one of his matches on YouTube. You won't be disappointed.
No, you won't be disappointed whatsoever. You really won't. I've done some deep diving into him since I talked to, again, I'm going to throw Jackson's name out there because he brought him up, and I'm like, I'm like, holy shit. He may be my now favorite Lucha. He really is. From seeing his stuff that he does, it's unbelievable that I am pissed that I never got to see him live, knowing that he was in Cincinnati all the time, essentially. I'm like, Mark, get your head out of your ass,
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was amazing.
So, all right, let's find out some more about Shawna Reed as the wrestler, okay? Because I always make this comparison to see how either horrible I am or how right I am.
Okay.
Who is Shawna Reed? And I always bring up 3 names. So before you go, I'm going to give you my 3 names. I see AJ Lee in you. I see Alexa Bliss in you. And then I'm kind of like on the fence that, I don't know, maybe like an Edge that doesn't maybe fly as much. So those are like the 3 names that I see in you. And no disrespect to Cody. If you have some Cody in you, I apologize. But those are, when I watch your matches, clearly the AJ Lee thing is the hair and the schoolgirl outfit. You got the sass of Alexa before she was Demon Alexa or whatever the hell she's doing. But I see a lot of moveset, and I put it to Edge. Am I close, or am I an idiot?
No, you're super close, because I'm a huge AJ Lee fan. She was the ultimate last push for me to actually, hey, I want to do this. So you're right on the nose with AJ. Alexa, yeah, she's out of everybody who's on the current roster. Definitely, she's. I hate the Demon Alexa thing. I really do.
I did too. Yep.
And but she's super talented and amazing. And people tell me all the time, "Oh, you remind me of Alexa Bliss." I'm like, "Oh, well, I was doing the gimmick before her, so it should be the other way around."
Right.
But and then Edge, I am a super Edge fan. I never really had thought about maybe I could definitely see it now when I'm actually really thinking about it. It being my style, being a little bit of an Edge, never really brought to my attention. But now that I'm thinking about it, I definitely can see it. So I think you probably hit it right on the nose.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, pat myself on the back. I get to have another beer later on tonight.
There you go. Good job.
So you had another persona prior, and we won't bring it up because I don't know if there's legalities going through, but you've some kind of switched over to the daughter of 1,000 Maniacs. I think I have an idea where it came from, but can you tell everybody?
Yeah. So, well, I can go ahead. So I was the Pretty Little Psycho, but there was a girl in California. I didn't realize she was doing the Pretty Little Psycho moniker. So when I figured out who she was, she's been in the business longer than me. So respectfully, I just stopped using that name.
No hard feelings there?
No,
Okay.
Not on my side. I know Cody had to talk to her. Cody talked to her and her boyfriend because there was no way for me to get a hold of her because she blocked me on Facebook and all that. And I didn't even know who she was. But people were messaging me that she was posting all this bad stuff about me. And I'm like, I I didn't even know you were a person. But like, there's no bad on my end, and Cody talked to them, and they said there's no bad on her end. But we were supposed to actually be on a show in California together this past year, but she canceled the show when she saw I was booked on it. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it's whatever, you know.
Yeah.
She can. It's wrestling.
Politics.
But,
Yep.
Exactly. So, but no, the Daughter of a Thousand Maniacs kind of came from. I'm a big horror movie fan, big Freddy Krueger fan. So he is the son of 100 maniacs. So I was like, I'm gonna be the daughter of 1,000. Why not?
Step it up. Yep.
Yeah. And so Cody and Dustin actually both were the ones that helped me put that one together.
And you have voices, which is weird. You've revealed some of the voices' name. That's weird within itself. But what scares the living shit out of me is when you bring the kids out. Like, I wish this was me back then, because you're plucking kids out, right? And saying, okay, you're going to dress up, you're going to be this little weirdo. Or do you actually, like, do you know these kids?
Well,
Hopefully
I teach
you
a
do.
kids class. Yes, I teach a kids class on Thursdays at the wrestling school. So they're actually my students.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, whenever I get the opportunity to bring them out, I do. I try. So, but now that I have a tag partner and stuff like that, it's kind of hard for me to bring them out. So I haven't gotten to bring them out in a while, but I hope to get to at some point.
But they love it, right? They I mean, shit, they're getting into the business early.
Yeah, no, they
just
are
can't
on
wrestle.
Cloud 9.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
So you brought up the paranormal. We're gonna take a minute off of wrestling if you got a little bit longer. You love the paranormal. I heard that you go to houses, and do you do like all the ghosty stuff and stuff like that? And are you always watching the ID network to watch stuff like that too?
Yeah, I totally am.
Yeah. My wife, when I get in a mood, and I don't mean a mood, but just because I have to have a mindset to watch like the ID network, otherwise your whole day is effed. She calls it like the Death Channel. She's like, "Oh God, are you watching the Death Channel again?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love these psychos."
Yeah, no, it's like if I'm ever have time to sit and watch television, I'm watching like Discovery Channel or like something like that. And so Cody, at first when he got with me, he was not into that stuff, but now it's kind of all he watches too. So like, you win. I win.
Do you have like the real like ghost trackers? And I don't know anything about this. I'm intrigued, but I know there's money to be spent to get into this, right? You have to spend a few bucks to find the ghost tracker and everything. Do you have that?
I have like 3 different things. I have like an EVP recorder. I have a I'm forgetting what the words are called. I have like a thing that measures like if like electromagnetic fields in it'll light up if something comes in contact with it. And let's see, I think I have one more thing, but I haven't been in a while, so I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. But yeah, I have 3 things. And then I actually just got a camera, a night vision camera to go with it. So
where's the weirdest or spookiest, I guess, place that you've gone? And have you, I don't want to say caught a ghost, but got anything on film or anything?
Oh God, yeah. So at the moment, I've only been 2 places. But so next year, me and a bunch of wrestlers are actually going. We're booked at the Conjuring House in Rhode Island.
No way.
Yeah, in September. So for an overnight. So I'm actually pretty damn excited about that.
Can Cody make that my trip? Can I make that my trip to go with you guys to that?
Well, Cody is afraid of all that kind of stuff, so he stays away from it.
Okay.
But so me, I did like 2 years ago. Me and a bunch of the wrestlers did a 4-hour one at Bobby Mackey's here in Kentucky on Halloween night.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, that was really my first real experience and stuff that I got. And then me and Heather Owens went down a little bit past Nashville about a year ago, and there was a whole entire hospital that's abandoned and it's haunted, and me, her, and like 4 other people had the whole hospital to ourselves, and it was an overnight.
Oh God.
And so
it was like a psych hospital. or just a
Yeah,
normal
like
hospital? Oh,
it was a normal hospital, but there was a psych floor. There was all this stuff. So
how the
it
hell
was
did you
pretty.
get? How did you get into this?
I just have always been into like I had experience when I was little, and I've always been into this kind of stuff. And then when I was going to nursing school, I worked at a nursing home and experienced so much stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to start actually like trying and like seeing like actually instead of like having these experiences myself, like actually capture these things. And so then me and I like when you join wrestling and there's a bunch of us that are like-minded and love the paranormal, you're like, heck yeah. So you have people to go with you. And so just have been going any chance I can get.
Where's the number one place that you like to go? Because I always want. I've never been to Alcatraz, period. But I would like
It's
to.
on my bucket list.
Yeah, I would love to go there. But if I know you're going, I'm going to be like, all right, I'm going to follow Shawna so we can spend a night and not just be weird, but I mean everybody else too. And
Yeah, definitely.
I would love Alcatraz. I've always been fascinated by that.
No, that's on my bucket list to even visit in general. But like, there's also, I want to. I have high hopes for what's it called, for the Conjuring House. Real high hopes for it. Like and then there was a lot of things that happened in the hospital. And then there was a lot of like creepy shit that happened in Bobby Mackey's. So every haunted place I've gone to has not been a disappointment. So
nice. All right, back to wrestling. What defines a good to perfect match for you?
Crowd engagement, psychology, and then I would have to say probably my let's see, what's the word I'm looking for? My compatibility with my opponent. Because there are some people that you can wrestle them 100 times and have like, there it is, ring chemistry. That's the word I'm looking for. You can wrestle someone 100 times and have horrible ring chemistry. The match is gonna suck either way. No matter what you do, no matter how many cool moves you do, it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
But if you have an amazing ring chemistry with somebody, like the stories, the magic you guys make it's amazing. And so I've been very lucky to meet people that you wouldn't expect to have amazing ring chemistry with, and you do, and it's just magical.
On that note, then, and I don't, not in any order or anything like that, but like a top three that you continue to want to work with all the time. You see that they're on the card, you're begging the promoter, change the match because I want to work with him, her, or whatever.
Probably, my tag partner, Amos, me and him have pretty amazing ring chemistry together. And then Logan Blackheart and Matthew Taylor. They're all at FGW, and with them, I have the most amazing ring chemistry with. So if I could literally just be like, oh hey, I have them tonight. Okay, I'll show up like 5 minutes before my match, and go out there, and no, it'd be amazing.
Cool. Can you step back as that little Shawna playing video games and say, "Holy shit, I'm now a wrestler"? Does it set into your mind yet?
It does. I'm totally a different character and wrestler than I was thinking myself would be as a child.
What did you want to be as a child? If Undertaker girl,
like a cowgirl. For some reason, I saw myself being like some kind of cowgirl.
Oh, now all I think is, what the hell's her name from Toy Story?
Jessie.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, no, when I was a kid, that's how I saw myself.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're not Jessie from Toy Story because I love your gimmick. Yeah, I really do. Besides, this is going to come out wrong, but it's at the tongue now. Besides your love life, what has wrestling brought to you?
My confidence, like in high school and like actually all school, I was severely bullied. Like so bullied to the point it made me so backwards. Like I wouldn't even look people in the face, wouldn't look, just keep my head down. Like, I'm very introvert, very backwards because of all the bullying I've gone through in my lifetime. So being able to go out there and be this character, be me, and like under a spotlight, and then like even heck, I can, when I'm a heel, I can freaking just yell at people and tell them what I really think of them, and they'll be like, haha, it's just my character. But in my mind, I'm going, no, this is what I really think of you, like,
Yes.
And so it's real cool. Like, that definitely brought out the confidence boost in me. So then I try, bring that into everyday life.
On that aspect, you love being a heel more than being a face, right?
Yes and no. Heel definitely has its perks.
Okay. Why would you say yes and no? Like, what is the bonus of being a face besides the love of children and everything? Because you can have a love of children as a heel.
Yeah, no. So the bonus of being a face is merch sales.
Well, touche. Yeah. Damn it! I always forget about there's real money in this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't always like looking way ahead because of COVID and everything else, but I can't say the end of this year. So what's a 2-year goal that you have on your docket?
I mean, my 2-year goal, I guess, if I'm not signed anywhere, is either to, if I'm not signed anywhere, or if I'm not, I've kind of dived into being able to help be a trainer at Cody's school, and then actually when I worked at Dustin's school too, he actually offered me that too as well, to be his assistant trainer. But when I couldn't move to Austin full time at the time because I was getting married in October. And so, maybe a 2-year goal is to be an assistant trainer somewhere. Like I said, I'm pretty much doing that at Cody's school now, but maybe dive a little bit more into it.
Would you full-fledged move to Austin, or would it be just all right, there's training sessions, I'm going to fly down for a week, Cody, I'll see you in a little bit, or something like that?
Oh no, I'd full-fledged if like that was something in the cards, which we've talked about. If that offer was still on the table from Dustin over a year ago, I would very much really consider it.
Oh, nice. Best advice for kids. All right, let's put your baby face on again. Best advice for kids wanting to get into the business. Now, maybe not like kids, and I know you're a trainer for kids, so what do you tell them?
I tell them if it's a kid, just if it's a kid, study while you can, like, enjoy the sport, find that love of the sport, and just continue to grow your love more. So when you get to be that age and you can actually get into a ring, because the pain that you will go through will be one of the most horrible things in your life. It's so painful. It is the worst ever. But if you can grit through the pain and keep going, it is everything you ever dreamed of.
What was your worst pain? Was it running the ropes or was it bumps?
Bumps.
Bumps. See, I hear it's 50-50 from everybody that I talk to, that they're like, the ropes are the worst thing in the world, Mark. I'm like, oh, all right.
Well, they do suck. But to me, bumps were worse for me.
Did it take you a second because it's not natural. Did it take you a second to get going with bumps?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because you don't just sit there and like pretty much fall on concrete,
Right.
When you like would fall normally, you're used to like, oh, I need to try to catch myself, or I'm gonna fall on my butt, pretty much. No, this is, hey, I'm throwing myself backwards and landing on my upper back and tucking my chin, like that, and that's not something anybody's used to.
No, I'm not going to go throw myself on the kitchen floor tonight. I'm sorry, Shawna.
Exactly. No.
Yeah. And of course, you always get this, but I always put a caveat on it because I'm different. Your dream match. You've already said that you were pretty pumped that you fought Rosa, but I want to know who, where, and what stipulation would you like in a match?
Okay. Is it a
anybody ever?
Ever? Okay. Honestly, me versus AJ Lee. stipulation. Honestly, just a normal match. I just want to wrestle her. She's my ultimate dream match.
It might happen, huh? Because you've been around WOW before, right?
I've been around what?
WOW, Women of Wrestling?
Yeah. I've helped train there for a week.
Yeah. So, it's coming back. You still have some connections. She may come out of retirement.
Yeah, no, that would be a dream.
It's going to happen. Just keep talking it. Keep talking it in. All right. I know you're not on the Super Zeta show this week. You are in Austin, Texas. But tell everybody, because you're fully engulfed with this as well for future wrestling. Tell everybody what to expect a little bit this week at the Super Zeta.
Well, the tournament, it's a tournament that we do every year in honor of him. He died, I think it's now 2 years to cancer, unfortunately. So it's a tournament we do every single year, and this year is the first time that it's an actual full show dedicated to him. Before, it's only ever been just a match on the shows that led up to the championship match at a bigger show. But this whole show is dedicated to him, and you're gonna see guys and girls, face off to whoever gets to win the championship belt. The championship belt is undefendable once you win. You win, you get to hold it, you continue his legacy or show out his legacy for that full year, and you pass it on to the next person the following year. And so, like you said, unfortunately, I won't be there this time. But me and Logan Blackheart had a match this past Friday, which will be on Shockwave this week on YouTube. And it was, because I won't be there, it was a Super Zeta memorial match that me and him did.
That's cool.
So
I can't wait to watch that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Logan, if any history, me and Logan were the first two champions, and we were the first Super Zeta memorial match ever, where I won the title. So then, like I said, this past Friday at FGW, but it will be on Shockwave this week. We main evented and had another Super Zeta memorial match because of me not being able to be there this week.
And you're going to be in Austin, Texas, right? Taking care of some business in another tournament. Yes,
I'm going to I'm going back to Rhodes Wrestling Academy and going to be fighting for the first ever Rhodes Wrestling Academy Women's Championship. We're going to be filming it this weekend, but it does not air until November 14th. So it'll air on YouTube November 14th. So make sure you watch the third showcase.
Yes. Other than that, do you have, you can get your socials out, sell some merch, do all that. Do you have anything else you bring to the table? You'll be back at Future the following week though, right?
Yep, I am at Future Great Wrestling every Friday. There are the rare moments that I'm not there, and like I said, this weekend is one of those. But every Friday, I am there. So, yep.
So in 2 weeks, if anybody wants to jump in the car with me, give me a holler. We'll be heading out to Hamilton, Ohio, and we'll see some future wrestling with Shawna and Cody and the rest of the gang there. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to come out. I was going to go to the Zeta Memorial. I was, honestly, but I'm like, I'm talking to Shawna. I want to make sure I see Cody. I want to see all of you guys. So I will make sure I watch Zeta when it comes out.
Yeah, definitely. I've already seen they painted the ring posts and taped it up all to look like the Mexican flag. It looks amazing.
Now you're just rubbing it in my face.
Hey, I won't be there either, so...
Okay, there. We're both bad then this week.
Exactly.
So what are your socials and sell some of your merch and stuff like that?
Okay, yeah, my Twitter is Shawna Reed 93. Instagram is Shawna_Reed. My Facebook is just Shawna Reed, but I do have a like page and a personal page. I am up to about 5,000 friends on my personal page, so go to the like page. It's the exact same thing. You'll get the exact same thing.
You really do, guys. You get to see it's double all the time on my feed. I'm like, holy shit, Shawna, stop. No, I'm kidding.
Nope, I'm gonna keep going. And If you like either want to see, either a really depressing thing, a really funny thing about food, or a really encouraging thing, whatever I am in the mood for that day, you can follow me on TikTok. I think it's wrestler Shawna Reed. I don't know. I post daily when I'm bored, so that's always a fun time.
You'll see you're singing with Joe Jonas.
And yeah, and who doesn't want to see me sing with Joe Jonas? I mean, I want to see me sing with Joe Jonas, but it's fine.
I agree.
So yeah, and then if you ever want merch or whatever, just DM me. I don't have any merch sites. People just direct message me, and we talk business and go from there.
Yeah, talk business. I like how you said that because you're like, oh, we can work something out. No, shit, we're talking business. Buy something and then give me your money.
Yeah, exactly. I'll ship it to you.
Yeah. Shawna, this has been a blast tonight. Thank you very much for coming on Can Crushers.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
That was probably one of the funnest interviews I've ever done. And I know I invited myself to one of her paranormal trips, but if she's going to Alcatraz, I'm going with her. Cody, if you're listening, that's where I'm going with you guys. We're going to Alcatraz. We're going to look for ghosts and anything like that. Yeah. Sidebar, you guys know we all record a little bit of a clip that we play on the weekly shows and anything like that. God damn her, she threw me under the bus. So make sure you listen this coming Sunday when I play the clip of her promoting Can Crushers, but she throws me right under the bus on this one. I'm not going to play it for this. I'm not playing it right now. You have to wait and listen Sunday because she brings it right back around. If you know where this interview started, she brings it right back around. So long in the business, but not long enough in the business. Shawna, 6 years, that's a long time. But she's still young. She's still learning. If you like women's wrestling, you will love every Shawna Reed match that you have seen. Type her name in YouTube. Make sure you see her on the future wrestling shows as well. All of that. And how about Mark getting it right again with the AJ Lee, Alexa Bliss, and Edge comparison? I'm getting better at this shit, guys. I really am. Guys, make sure you follow Shawna on all the socials that she mentioned. Go out, support her, slide into her DMs and tell her you want a shirt or a picture or something. She'll do business with you, as she said. Again, I'm excited. I can't wait to head out to Hamilton, Ohio to catch a show. Man, this was awesome. Guys, again, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and on the old Facebook. Check out our website at cancrushers69.wixsite.com/cancrushers. Buy some of our merch as well. Always head over to Collar and Elbow and use our promo code, which is cancrushers, capital C and can, capital C and crushers. You'll save 10% and all that happy horse shit. Al Snow's there for you all the time. It's just fun being a wrestling fan, hanging out virtually with talent like this. Keep watching, keep supporting Shawna Reed. And remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.